In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, and may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon His last and beloved Messenger Muhammad, and may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you all. The title of this presentation is The Mercy of Allah God in the Creation of Fish. We will see, brothers and sisters, in this presentation how the mercy of Allah God Almighty encompassed everything, and you will see how everything around you in creation is mercy made into a created object. So to start with the mercy of Allah God Almighty in the creation of fish. Now when Allah God Almighty decided to create fish, the mercy requires that fish should swim with minimum effort, i.e. with minimum water resistance. This is a basic mercy requirement in the creation of fish, that the fish should exert minimum energy to swim. This necessitates that there is minimum water resistance. Let's see how the knowledge of Allah God Almighty comes to translate this mercy into a created object. So Allah God Almighty made the frontal part of the fish's body, convex and in some cases like the point of a sword, which means a small contact volume with water. So if we look at the body of the fish, how Allah created that body, we see that the frontal region, it has a small contact area with water. It's like a knife through a fabric, a small contact area with the fabric. Now in the case of fish, Allah Almighty created a small contact region with the water, and water you can think about as a fabric of atoms linked together making a fabric. So it is like a knife going through, or like a scissors going through a fabric. So this pointy end, it tears the fabric of the water, which makes it easier for the fish to swim in water. As I said, it's like a knife going through fabric. It tears up this fabric so the knife can go smoothly through the water, and the frontal end of the fish, it tears up the atoms in the water, making it easy for the fish to swim. Minimum energy from its muscles, it can swim easily in water. So, as I said, this kind of frontal part of the fish, this causes that the tearing of the fabric of water atoms would be easy compared to the case of the fish having a large contact volume with the water. Thus, a small effort should be exerted from the muscles of the fish in order to swim. Also, another sign of the mercy of Allah Almighty in the creation of fish, that Allah God created projections on the outer surface of the body of the fish. These projections cause turbulence in the water surrounding the body of the fish, which does not allow the water atoms to form a boundary layer on its surface of the fish, i.e. no accumulation of atoms on the top of each other, and thus water resistance is lowered. So we see in the body of the fish that there are projections on the body. Now these projections, they cause turbulence in the water molecules around the body of the fish, and this turbulence minimizes the friction of water to the body of the fish. So minimum friction means that lower energy need to be exerted in swimming. Of course, there are other things like the smooth surface of the fish. Again, it lowers water resistance. It lowers the resistance of the body of the fish to the water surrounding it, and thus a small movement from the fish, it can go a long way in swimming and covering large distances. So we see, brothers and sisters, how the knowledge of Allah Almighty translates mercy requirements into a created object. And as I said, if you think like this, you'll notice that everything around you, everything that Allah Almighty created, it's basically mercy made into form of created objects. And to know more details about this topic, please visit my website at www.quran-miracle.com, and you can email me at zaidquran@gmail.com, and may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you all.